Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to talk about the news that's going viral the most at the moment, which is about Piastri aiming for a spot at Red Bull. Dr. Helmut Marko has already proven himself to be a big talker. He generates a lot of entertainment when there's not much news about Formula 1. And basically, he said, as you can see in the description, that Mark Webber, who is Oscar Piastri's agent, is negotiating a possible transfer intensively. And this transfer would be to Red Bull, which is the team where Mark Webber retired from Formula 1, and even fought for the title. Webber almost managed to become a world champion. I believe that 2010 was the year in which Webber had the best chance of winning the title. He arrived competing with Alonso and, in the end, the underdog Sebastian Vettel is the champion. But the detail here is that Oscar Piastri is going to Red Bull in a move for what? Well, maybe it would be to have the spotlight. And that spotlight would be with the possible departure of Max Verstappen, which has all that talk about Verstappen possibly going to Mercedes. The other side of the story is Perez's place, but Perez is being threatened for next year, as we also mentioned in a very recent video here on the channel, from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, saying that Perez had a useless contract, in the words of Helmut Marko himself, actually. So, Helmut Marko is giving a lot of hints about what's going on behind the scenes at Red Bull. He's already throwing it out there, not throwing it out there, right? He's already officially saying that Mark Webber is negotiating with Red Bull. Red Bull is interested in one of the two McLaren drivers. That's also known to all of us. Helmut Marko has also said this publicly, and Perez's situation is not good. So, if Lawson goes to Red Bull in Perez's place, then the vacancy that would be left open would be the possible departure of Verstappen in 2026 or 2027 for Mercedes or Aston Martin, which Verstappen has also said he could go to Aston Martin. And then Piastri could try to take on that leading role at Red Bull, since at McLaren he has Lando Norris as his teammate, who is also a high-level teammate. Both of them are at a high level. Norris already has more experience. And you can see that Piastri is still not able to consistently run alongside Norris. He's there one weekend and he's in front, and then 2 or 3 in a row he's behind. So, Piastri may be seeing this and saying, no, I need a place where I'll be the center, where I'll be the guy they'll want to lead things, who they'll want to focus on. And Norris shares his attention with McLaren. And then, obviously, a vacancy opens up there. Bortolito could also take the McLaren seat. And this McLaren seat, many say that it could be Bortolito's, who, according to rumors, impressed in the tests with McLaren. And McLaren would be playing hardball by loaning Bortolito to Audi, precisely because Bortolito had done very, very well in the tests. So, the Brazilian would be very well regarded to take a possible McLaren seat if Norris or Piastri were to leave in the near future, which is very good news, considering that McLaren is already a top Formula 1 team today. It has returned to being, a top Formula 1 team. So, Bortolito could also take this seat, going in the same direction as what has been said for a few months. Now, on another subject, the driver market scenario has been taking on increasingly interesting contours since Lewis Hamilton's announcement at Ferrari. If we had a 2024 season in which nothing changed, from 2025 onwards things are like this, absurd, drastic changes, like Hamilton himself going to Ferrari, Sainz having to go to Williams, Perez being able to leave at any moment. So, we have a very cool scenario from 2025 onwards in Formula 1, with the possibility of a Brazilian entering in 2026, or maybe 2027, if one of the two McLaren drivers really does leave the English team to go to Red Bull. But obviously I want to know your opinion on all this. I see it in a positive light. I think it's a very cool market movement. I would even say that the best thing for Red Bull would be a duo of Piastri and Verstappen. And then there's that talk that Verstappen wouldn't accept a high-level driver and all that. Anyway, it's the kind of thing that we'll only know if, at some point, Verstappen has this teammate. So if he goes to Mercedes, to be Russell's or Antonelli's teammate, we have to see if Antonelli will succeed too, who is another one who will arrive in 2025. So, the scenario is looking really good. I see it in a positive light. Piastri is a driver that I like, he has enormous potential. We've said here several times on the channel that his potential is that of a prodigy. Will he reach that potential? We don't know, guys, we have to keep an eye on him. He may reach it, he may not. Leclerc is a driver considered a future world champion. So far he hasn't arrived, but he could. Russell the same, Norris the same. So, we have to wait a little to see if they will reach that level, like Verstappen did, or not. To end the video, it was reported today that Fernando Alonso was not feeling well and missed the Thursday media day in Mexico. Why is this important? We have to see if Alonso will recover for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Drugovich will get into the Aston Martin car in Alonso's place in FP1. So if Alonso is not feeling well, Drugovich could even do FP2 as well. Of course, it's a small chance. Aston Martin itself released a statement saying that Alonso should be 100% tomorrow. So, it's not that we're rooting for Alonso to get sick, that's not it. I'm just telling you that, when there are these health issues, the reserve driver may end up staying in for longer than expected. You already had the case of both Sainz and Albon having to have their appendicitis removed. You already had the case of Hamilton with COVID, anyway, drivers who get sick and then you have replacements. Ricciardo also had to be replaced by Lawson for a while. So, it's normal for this to happen. It's normal, right? It's obvious that it's going to happen, and Drugovich is ready. He'll be in the car in FP1, and could also be in FP2. Drugovich will only race on Sunday if Alonso has a serious problem and can't race at all. For now, the only information we have is that Alonso didn't feel well and he's going to reach the 400 Grand Prix milestone now at the Mexican Grand Prix. Some people are already saying that Alonso actually wanted to avoid interviews so he wouldn't have to answer questions about the 400 Grand Prix. The worst part is that I don't doubt it. That's the funny part, I really don't doubt that he did this, especially since he won't be participating in FP1, but there will be 400 Grand Prix. Alonso, who has had an incredible longevity in Formula 1 since the early 2000s, the two-time champion will still be with us in Formula 1 until at least 2026. So, what do you think? Is Alonso faking something just to avoid participating in the interviews? Do you think he is really doing badly and that Drugovich might be in 2 sessions tomorrow? Tell us in the comments. Well, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to comment your opinion on the topics in the video, subscribe, like and activate notifications. See you in the next video.